temperature 92 degrees. Vital signs nominal.
Yo, what's up? So here's part 2 of my playthrough slash walkthrough of Journey to the Savage Planet. So we got the Nomad pistol. We're going to shoot our way through these crystals, and it's going to take us to the first big area, the landing site area, and then we could find a bunch of cool shit. And right now what we're doing is we're just going to explore, and then the missions will start coming to us. I'm like the worst YouTuber. I already beat the game. I did part 1, and then I just wanted to play it, and I didn't want to stop. So this is actually my second playthrough. I started a new game just for the purposes of doing a walkthrough. So at least now I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to be as efficient as possible, and I'm going to go through the game, and then I can explain everything.
It may sound weird, but do you see a large tower looming above you? I only ask because my system appears to be functioning correctly, but our initial scan said there should be no sign of intelligent life here at all, and that appears to directly contradict this idea. I will contact your superiors immediately. One moment, please.
Alright, so as I wait, I'm going to take advantage of the photo mode from this really cool view of the tower. But with this photo mode, it doesn't actually snap photos that you can save. So you just toggle the UI off, find a good angle, and then just screenshot it later. And as a YouTuber, it's good for having some cool thumbnails.
I have received an urgent message regarding the tower from our president and CEO, which is available for your viewing pleasure at the Habitat. Please return as soon as you have a moment.
So now I'm just going to run through, start scanning all this new stuff for the Kindex.
These unhatched alien eggs can be used like a natural trampoline. Ethically iffy, yes. Effective? You bet. This plant's berries are edible and slightly hallucinogenic. As with all edibles, take it slow.
Alright, so it's important to scan stuff. It's one of the major parts of the game. You gotta scan the monsters, the plants, all that shit. And it's important because you're gonna get a mission called Force Science. It has different levels. And every time you beat one of the levels, you get access to new upgrades that are super helpful in beating the game. So as long as you stay on top of it, whenever you get to a new area, just look for stuff to scan. No matter how small or big, just constantly be on the lookout. And watch out for those plants. If you walk into that purple cloud, you'll start tripping balls. Always shoot these sacks because they drop important stuff. And make sure you scan it.
Now that's metal. That thing you picked up looks disgusting. And squishy. And bouncy.
So the stuff I just picked up from that sack is what I just jumped off of. These little vomit piles. You could throw them to where you need it to make a jump.
This fungazoid sports several spongy, porous pom-pom pods.
So I was saying, it's important to shoot those sacks down because they drop stuff like grappling seed, something called binding bile, where the tougher creatures, you throw it and it can keep them in place, and then you can get open shots to their weak spots. Stuff like that.
I am detecting a nearby organic compound which may be useful in our exploration efforts. Please scan it. Aww, it's chilly. I believe that mixing that orange substance with your oxygen supply may allow me to tweak its impact on your biology, which would in turn allow you to be more attuned to the local climate. Long-term impacts are unknown, but ingestion is, of course, completely your decision. Please remain calm. I am monitoring your physical response. All is as predicted. I am adjusting your health and biofeedback to reflect your improved suitability to the chemical mix. I salute your continued embrace of adventure. Pufferbirds may not look it, but they're salty as hell. This magnetic door seems to respond to your energy signature. You won't get through unless you manage to disable its mechanism. A big lightning shock should do the trick. Let me see if the cartographer's found anything useful that will allow you to upgrade your suit to do something similar to a lightning jolt. I'll update your compass if they found it. That upgrade would be very useful indeed. I have sent a request to Kindred, but we have yet to locate the required resources on this planet. Stay tuned. These remains are a hell of a lot older than anything else we found on this planet.
Alright, so a lot going on. Out back here, make sure you scan this hole. It's the Burgle Haven. There's a little creature that will pop out. I didn't see it this time, so I have to come back. And then right here is the meat vortex. I talked about it in my first playthrough, or in part 1. And what you got to do is line up one of these puffer birds. Usually they'll kind of have themselves in the area. If not, you could use Grob. And then what you see is it'll blend it up, and then its vines will retract, and it'll lead you to a secret area. And then we're going to get our second edible. And we got that mission just a second ago. And there's going to be 100 of these, so they're going to be everywhere. So you're constantly going to be on the lookout. And they're important to pick up because they give you your health. They build up your health and stamina. So back here is the Snowyburgle that comes out of these holes. I'm not sure how to get them to come out, but I know later on there's going to be normal burgles, and they come out when you shoot the health trees. They'll come out and pick up some of the health, and then that's how you get them. And don't worry about this door right now. We won't be able to keep that door open. We're going to have to come back way later when we unlock the upgrade for the shock fruit. And then you shock the door, that mechanism, and it keeps it open for you. Alright, so don't forget to scan that skull. I'm going to move on to the next section of this area. It's going to be the Jellywaft Basin right here. So you're going to see this edible, and it's going to be a trick. Bam. If you're wondering what a Jellywaft is, there you go. This is the Jellywaft Inferior. I kind of made a mistake here. Don't try to scan them. Kill 2 of them first, and then scan the last one, because they're going to constantly sit there and pepper you with that black ink. And they're going to drop silicone, which is a little bit more harder to get than the carbon. So take out 2, and then scan the last one. And make sure you're slapping these creatures too. I didn't get that achievement in my first playthrough. I forgot. So you have to slap every creature in the game, and you get an achievement and a trophy. And when you fight these guys, just be on the move. Don't sit still or they'll get you. And then later on you're going to run into a harder version that shoots out acid. Or pain in the balls. So scan this little pond, and then we're going to pick up 2 of those edibles before we move on. There's going to be one hidden behind that little waterfall. So after we grab this carbon, grab this edible, then we're going to climb up and get that edible we saw right before the ice broke.
Good news, bad news. Good news is those things you ate made you way harder to kill. Bad news is you're harder to kill because most of your bones have been replaced with rock-hard space tumors. Good news, potential partners dig tumors. Or so I hear.
Alright, we're going to eat this edible. We already leveled up twice from eating the edibles. You can see that in the health and our stamina. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to move into the next section. It's going to open up again. And you're going to run into this creature. It's called like a babushka. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. And what's important about this creature is it's actually 3 creatures in one. And that's important because you're going to need all 3 scanned for your Kindex to get that achievement and to get credit for your Kindex. So you're going to get the base form, and then when you attack it, it's going to split into 2 creatures, and then you got to attack one of those creatures, and it's going to change color, and then you got to scan that last one. So there's 3 of them. And make sure you get that tree. But the only thing is when you attack it, it just starts fucking running and screaming from you. So you got to use, I don't know if they go to Grob, but definitely try to use the binding bile to keep it in place. And when you attack it, don't just hammer the slap or the kick. Do it one at a time, because if you just rapidly press the button, you'll kill him before you scan it. So here's right here. He's already fucking running away. It's being a pain in the ass. And right here to my left, if you can see, there's like this red grass. You can shoot that, and there's always stuff, not always, but most of the time there's like hidden edible in there. And like I said, make sure you're always opening up your scanner, because then you'll see the orange shit that needs to be scanned, all the new stuff when you go to the new areas. I'll go back to scan that creature that was running away. So we'll take out these jelly waffs, and we're gonna see they're called pomegranates, or what are they called? Pomegranates. They're called they're gonna be up here. I'm gonna scan it. I don't know if it's important when you see these pomegranate plants. You're gonna have the big one. You're gonna have like a medium-sized one. You're gonna have a really tiny one. You have to scan all three for your Kindex. And I don't think I'm gonna get all three from that angle. I have to wait till I get the. You're gonna get the tether. You see those like little glowing thing. You could attach yourself to that, and it'll, like a whip, it'll bring you up to that platform. Alright, so I got the teen. Okay, I did get all three. Or no, or did I? I'm not sure, but I'll definitely scan them later to make sure. So we got to get that upgrade if we want to be able to whip ourselves up to those platforms. They're going to be everywhere later on. You're going to be using it all the time. It's called like the proton tether. And then up here is going to be your first teleportation orb. You can see it up there to the left. And they're going to be a major part of the game. They're going to make it a lot easier to get around. Just take out these jelly waffs, or you can just run past them if you want. Make sure you scan that teleportation, the whole structure of it. I'm going to scan it, and then we're going to move on to a cave, and I'm going to get my first upgrade, the jump thrusters.
Oh, Grob, the only food in this universe that tastes exactly like it sounds. I don't get it. This planet was supposed to be devoid of intelligent life, but these structures... Why don't you scan this one? Looks to be a plant that's anchored itself to the environment. If you have a grapple, this is where you'd fire it. I'm working on a blueprint for you now. Looks like some sort of transport device. If you turn it back on, we can kill you here and make a clone of you at another one you've activated. Or, sorry, I'm supposed to say teleport. Before you jump in, Kindred says I need to read you a 400-page waiver absolving him of all responsibility. I speed read it.
Alright, so here's the menu. When you click on the orb, we only got the outside the javelin and inside the javelin right now. So we'll come back to this area when we get the two upgrades. One for jump thrusters, which we're about to get, and then we got to get the grappling hook. What they call is the proton tether, and then we could move into the next section when we get those.
Hey! How exciting! Even more exciting is the fact that the cartographers have detected a trapped fluid which could be used to synthesize the fuel for basic jump pack. Please use all possible methods to investigate. These are like low shrubs, but lazier.
Alright, so make your way into the cave. Doesn't matter if you go left or right. They both kind of circle around. And we're going to run into a new puffer bird, the cave version. They have these little lights on their heads. So make sure you scan them and then slap them. And then we're going to make our way to the next section. Grab this carbon. And in here we're going to run into this new item you can pick up. It's like it's a tree or a plant that glows in the dark. So when you go through the dark sections, you can pick them up. And it'll help you see. But just got to be careful. If you do any actions while you're carrying it, you automatically drop it. And if you do that in the middle of a dark area, you're kind of screwed. So I'll show you. So like I was saying, they both lead to the same area. And then after that, we're going to do like a little platforming. And it's going to lead us to our first shrine. The precarious shrine. And all these upgrades, you're basically extracting a liquid. And then when you bring it back to your ship, you can 3D print a new upgrade. So that was the glow-in-the-dark plant I was talking about. But before you move on, just kind of take a hard left, shoot those plants I was telling you about earlier, or the grass, that red grass. So this is the first time we've seen aluminum. That's our new resource. And so make sure you scan it before you move on. And then when we did that, like I was saying, we dropped that plant, so we had to go grab a new one. And you only have it for a certain amount of time. You can't hold on to it forever. As you can see, that little red thing in the bottom left there. It runs out. So make your way over that little bridge. Here's the shrine, but we gotta get a drop down and then start platforming back up. Another thing about jumping, in most games when you almost make the jump, the guy grabs onto the ledge and pulls himself up like that. It didn't work too great in this game. Like right here, I had to kind of come around the edge here. So don't be too reliable on that, or don't rely on that too much, because it's I died a couple times where I fell straight down when I thought I would grab the edge, which we'll get into later. When you fall off a cliff in this game, you don't die. It'll actually just teleport you back to where you started jumping, which is actually a lot better than having to start all over and then come back to that area. Alright, so here you go. Make sure you scan this place too.
Whoa, this may be the first ever chronicled example of alien art. Resources to print a brand new jump pack at the habitat. While untested and not necessarily safe, it is guaranteed to be amusing.
So just like that, we already got our first upgrade, the jump thrusters. So we're gonna 3D print these back at the ship first, and then we could use them to access a new area, and then that's gonna get us access to our next upgrade, the grappling hook or proton tether, and then the game just kind of rolls on like that, like Metroid. You could actually scan these little nubs. I should have scanned in the grass when it was still there. It's going to let me scan it again later, so I don't know if that was a glitch or they count as 2. I'm not sure. And when we get back to the ship, we're going to have some new videos from Martin Tweed, the CEO of the company we work for. I'm just going to let those play and not talk over them, because they do have a lot of the story element. You don't really see much. You talk with the computer lady, EKO, I think her name was. But other than that, the videos from the CEO are like a big part of the story of the game. So just use the orb. You can go right inside the habitat, and when you get in there, it automatically deposits all the elements you picked up, so you don't have to worry about losing them.
You can craft an upgrade if you wanna.
Hello. Is this thing working? Sorry, buddy. Hey, yeah, you. Hi, I apologize for the one-sided nature of this message, but, communication across vast distances makes it impossible to do anything else. So, I hear you've arrived on ARY-26, and I've seen some of the preliminary data, and I have to tell you, we have a few questions. Well, as you know, every planet we initially surveyed showed no sign of intelligent life. The only thing is, your planet is, whoa. Wrong. Not wrong. Strange. Unusual. We need to know what's inside that structure, okay? How did our scanners miss it? Who built it? I need you to dig up everything you can. We are searching for a new home for humanity, after all. I need you to transmit this data directly to me, okay?
I've already updated your transfer protocols.
This needs to be our little secret for now.
Mini Mall Monkey's Micro Mills Plaza, the ultimate Earth life simulator. Create tiny human life forms by just adding sub-zero radioactive water to a micro-life powder packet and see your mall's inhabitants grow in just minutes. Watch them stroll, shop, and live as they autonomously move throughout their very own shopping complex, completely unaware of your presence. Engage in fascinating examination of standard Earth activity, or declare a Black Friday and send your shoppers into a violent bargain hunting frenzy where only the strong survive. Mini Mall Monkey's Micro Mills Plaza comes with environmentally stabilized shopping mall biochamber, 3 packets of powdered micro monkeys, and stirring stick from Lil Labs.
Alright, so he wants us to access that tower, get more information, And when you find new areas, they put up the postcards on this little bulletin board, so you always want to be on the lookout for new cards. And so we got, when you watch a video, it'll get saved to your computer so you can rewatch it. I'm just going to click on them to get rid of the exclamation marks. And here's all the cards that we collected so far. So we got a nice little chunk of them just from that first area. And I went back just to show you real quick. If you go to the trash, you can get some old emails from the person who worked on this planet before us. I'm just going to go through them real quick. If you want to read them, just pause it. And then if you actually read every one or click on every one, you can get an achievement. I forget what it's called, and I forget how much it's worth. But it's just a quick, easy achievement, so you definitely want to do that. Just click on those, get that achievement. Now we can go 3D print, and you'll see it'll say right there. It'll be in the yellow, the ready to craft jump thrusters.
I see you have upgraded your jetpack. While not capable of full flight yet, it should still allow you to access previously unreachable locations with only minimal release of atmospheric pollutants.
Just to be safe, make sure you upgrade the jump thrusters first, because if you upgrade your pistol and then you go to upgrade your jump thrusters, you might not have enough resources, enough you might not have enough carbon or whatever. So do the jump thrusters first, then you can upgrade your weapon for damage. And right now you can't upgrade anything else. You're going to need the alien alloy, which you'll see up in the top right corner in purple. So we're going to grab the first one in the next video, and maybe, I'm not sure how long that'll take us, but then maybe we'll grab the grappling hook, the proton tether, and then that'll give us access to that area above the crystal teleportation spot. But that's it for now. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Stay alive, and see you soon.